Oh, wow, you guys, it has been a busy day out in the garden and now I have to cook dinner and I don't have anything prepared. So I am going to show you how I pull out a quick meal, an amazing meal that nobody's gonna know is quick because I have all of my preserved foods ready on hand. We're gonna see how fast we can do this, all right? Today we're gonna be making a roasted eggplant and pepper puttanesca over homemade noodles with an antipasto salad on the side and an apple brown betty for dessert. And like I said, I don't really have anything prepared. I raided the refrigerator to see what I could come up with, and I have a few goodies, but they're things that you could do with or could do without. So let's make dinner from what we have on the shelf. Okay, this is a complete setup. I wasn't in the garden all day. It's about 9:30 in the morning, but ever since I saw that episode of Pioneer Woman Cooks, I've wanted to try a show like this. So anyways, just so you know, full honesty here, but let's see if I can do it in 15 minutes. Okay, so the first thing I did when I got down here to the kitchen is to go ahead and get my pasta water on. That's gonna be the longest part of this whole meal probably, is getting this water to a boil. So we'll make sure it is cranked up as high as it can go and get that water boiling. Now I want to get my sauce ready. It will only take a few minutes for it to heat, but I want to have it ready to heat as soon as I'm at that point. So let's see, I'm going to find a couple of jars of my homemade roasted eggplant and pepper puttanesca sauce, and this is such an amazing sauce. Let's see where I'm still getting used to where everything is in this kitchen. Oh my goodness, if you guys could smell this. Oh, it smells so good. It almost smells like a pizza shop or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these guys just out in a jar, or out of the jar and into the pot. And like I said, I'm not going to turn it on quite yet. It's not going to take very long to get this warmed up. And so I'm just going to get it ready so that it's real, easy to do when I get to that point. All right. So I have my water on for my pasta. I have my puttanesca sauce ready to warm up. And now I'm gonna get my dessert going because that's gonna be one of those things that's gonna take a little bit longer in this whole process. So to do this, because I don't really wanna take the time to heat the oven all the way up, I'm gonna do it on the stove top completely. And I just have a pot with a lid. And you don't have to use the cast iron, any heavy duty pot or Dutch oven would do just fine. Now I've got this is a sourdough French bread that we make, and I always take my little bits that are left over and I stick them in the freezer. So this has just been roughly cubed when I went to put it in the freezer, and right now it is fairly well defrosted because it's been out for a few minutes. But you could even start this from frozen. I'm gonna mix all this together right in the pan because I'm trying to go light on dishes. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it here. If you want to see exactly how to make this dessert with measurements and everything, I have a video out on that you can watch. Okay, and this is such an easy dessert, and it's getting easier because we are going to use our canned apple pie filling. So let's see, that's over here. And check this out. This is such a great thing to have on hand. You can make a pie so fast and so easily when you have this, but you can also make something like this apple brown betty. It's already got the sugar in it. It's already thickened. The only thing we need to do is add the bread crumbs, some good butter, and a little bit of water over the top. Ooh, hear that nice suction sound? I love that. That is the canner's dream, right? Hearing that sound. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and dump that. Oh my goodness, this smells like fall in a jar. I wish you could smell this. So amazing. And I'm just gonna use this whole quart right here. Now usually when I'm making a full apple pie, I like making them really full. I like a lot of fruit in my pies. I use 2, or sometimes if it's a deep dish, even 3 quarts. For this though, I'm only gonna use 1. Okay, and I am going to mix this up just like this. And perfect. Now, the thing that you really want in here is butter. Butter is what makes this so good. So I just have my homemade butter that I keep in the freezer and just move little bits of it to the fridge. And this, can you see how yellow this is? This is what happens when you have a Jersey cow that is out on grass. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Okay, and I'm gonna put in, this is about a cup of butter right here. I'm gonna put in about a 1/2 cup. Again, you can watch the actual directions for this and get the real measurements instead of my just cooking quickly in the kitchen measurements. Okay, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this right over the top. And I'm gonna put a little bit of water in it. And this is only about a 1/2 cup of water, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it lightly over the top just to make sure the whole thing doesn't dry out. Okay, now I'm gonna cook this on low on the stove top for several minutes. I mean, everything in here is completely done, but then I'm gonna take the lid off and let it cook without it a little bit so some of that can the moisture can evaporate off. Do you see how easy that is? Isn't that amazing? Okay. Okay, so I have that on low. All right, now the next thing I'm gonna get started while those things are all getting ready is our ntipasto salad. Now, I know in general an ntipasto salad doesn't necessarily have greens or any lettuce in it. But for this version, we're gonna go ahead and put it on a base of lettuce because, you know, I want some greens, I want some salad, especially if I'm having a pasta dish. I just feel like that's a lot more well-rounded and healthy. So for this, what I'm going to do is I've got all of these beautiful lettuce greens that I just picked out of the garden. And they're all ready to go. They're just chopped. We actually, because of the way we grow them, we don't even have to wash them, which saves so much time in the kitchen. And then as we're picking them, we just chop them right there with our kitchen scissors that we're picking with. So this makes it super easy and really fast. So I have these all ready to go. So now I want to prepare the topping part of this. I'm going to do that by starting with my mixed pickles. These are these mixed pickles, and they just do so many things. They're great to eat by themselves. They've got pearl onions, celery, bell pepper, cauliflower, carrots. They've got so many great things in here, and they've just got this wonderful flavor. But we're gonna use this to make us a super, super easy salad topping. All right, now I'm just gonna grab an empty jar. And I'm gonna go ahead and just strain the pickling liquid right on into that empty jar. And this is gonna be our salad dressing for the salad. This is why this gets so easy. Okay, so you see, these are the goodies in the salad, and this is gonna be our dressing. Now, to make this dressing, let's see, I'll want a lid that fits on this jar. And this is mostly vinegar. It's a vinegar and it's kind of salty combination because it was the pickling brine. So I'm gonna wanna add some oil to it. And this is gonna make more than I need for this salad. I wanna at least double the amount of vinegar in oil there. Okay, and then you want something to kind of balance out the sourness of the vinegar. So I prefer having it pretty sour myself. I prefer not having any sweetener in my vinaigrettes. If you would like some sweetener in your vinaigrette, this would be great for just maybe a tablespoon of honey, a little bit of sugar, something like that. That would be exactly what you're looking for. But you do need to add a little bit of depth to the flavor here, and there's nothing like a good stone ground mustard to do that. So here's a little bit of homemade stone ground mustard that I just absolutely love. This stuff is so good. It's really seedy and just has this wonderful kind of slightly spicy flavor. And I'm just gonna put, I don't know, about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more in there. Now, this probably doesn't need any salt at all because pickles can be a little bit salty, but we're gonna taste it at the end, but I can be sure that it needs some black pepper. So I'm just gonna give it a few little pinches. And give it a really, really good shake. Now, of course, you're the chef, you have to taste it. It is required. Oh, that is so good. What a nice vinaigrette. You know, I don't think that needs any sweetener at all. I'm glad I didn't put any in, because that is just about perfect. Okay, so let me grab my salad bowl. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my greens right in here in the bottom. This is such a lovely lettuce mix that we grow out there. It is so tender and so just a nice, kind of sweet, delicate mix. It doesn't have any romaine or any of those, so it's kind of more of that butter crunch lettuce, and it just makes this wonderful, smooth, buttery flavor. Oh, I just love it. Okay, so now we're just gonna toss in our pickled vegetables. And you know, I think I want a few more goodies than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one more. I wasn't sure if I was gonna want one or two. And I'm gonna pour off this liquid. I'm gonna save it for some more salad dressing for later because it just makes such a wonderful flavor. And you guys, when you can, please don't throw away the liquid in whatever you can. It is worth a lot. It has a lot of food value in it, and it usually has a lot of flavor, whether we're talking, let's see, fruit or your pickles or anything like that. Okay, so now we have this great top. Can you guys see this beautiful salad right now? It is so nice. Now I'm still waiting for that water to boil back there for my noodles. I hope that gets going soon. Okay, Pioneer Kitchen's woman's kitchen is always clean looking. How does she do that? I don't know how to do that yet. Okay, so here I have some just homemade mozzarella. You don't have to use anything this fancy. You could use store-bought mozzarella. You could use cheddar cheese. You could use Monterey Jack cheese. Hey, if you have little, what do they call those things? String cheese for your kids in the fridge. That's perfect. Use that. And you could just bypass this part altogether. But I had, you know, the milk, the cow right now is in milk, and we're getting tons of milk every day, like 6+ gallons every day. So we are making just a ton of mozzarella cheese because it's, you know, one of the faster cheeses to make. And so we've got a lot of this laying around right now. So I'm just giving this a nice quick dice and just sprinkling it in. My family likes quite a bit of cheese, especially this good fresh cheese. But you know, change this around to what you want. All right. And then, all right, this isn't my homemade stuff. So, but what I did find in the fridge is some good salami. And you know, that just makes an antipasto salad so good. I would be using my home cured prosciutto, but we ran out of it. We're totally out this year, and you know, you have to wait until it's harvest season before you can make more if you're raising the meat yourself. So I'm just gonna cut this into little wedges. And again, this is one of those things, if you don't have this, just leave it out. This is the beauty of raiding a well-stocked fridge and pantry, is you might turn up with some goodies. What are some other things you could put in here? Boy, if you find green olives in your fridge or black olives, that could be wonderful in this. Okay, now I'm just gonna put those, you can see I just kind of did ribbons on here. And I'm just gonna drop that right on in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give this another shake. Pour it over the top. And give it a quick toss. And then our antipasto salad is done. Now you can see, I mean, this would make a great lunch or a light meal all by itself right here. And this was just a couple of minutes. So quick and easy. Okay, beautiful salad, all ready to go. Set that there. Get my dirty dishes out of the way. Okay, now I want to take a peek at that apple brown Betty and see if that's ready to take the lid off. Okay, it's cooking really nicely, but the butter has not completely melted. So I'm going to give it another minute or two with the lid on. All right, now I have my homemade pasta that we're going to use for the pasta. You can watch that video. It's out there. And this is just like a fettuccine pasta. And it's been dried, it's been in my pantry, so I'm just waiting for this busy day. This is about a pound. I keep about a pound in a bag like this if I portion them out that way. And that's nice because that's, you know, maybe about 4 people. If you're lighter eaters, if you're really heavy eaters, maybe this is 2 people. But because we have a nice full salad and we have a dessert and we even have a few slices of bread to go with our pasta, this is going to be plenty for about 4 people. Okay, let me check on this water, see how it's doing. Okay, so we're just coming up to a boil on the water, so I'm gonna go ahead and salt my water well. Remember, your pasta water needs a lot of salt, and that's the benefit of buying that good quality salt in bulk and having a bucket of it on hand is you don't feel so chintzy with the salt when it comes to your pasta water. All right, we're just at a boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these noodles in. And these homemade noodles, because they are completely dried, are gonna be just like store-bought dry noodles. And so those are gonna take, you know, 7-8 minutes to cook, sometimes a little bit less if they're the homemade noodles. And so I think right about now is the perfect time to go ahead and get that sauce on low. Okay, and we'll be ready to just give it a little bit of a stir. Now, you know, most of the dinner at this point is ready. We're just gonna wait for it to cook and be ready to serve up. I do have a little bit of Parmesan cheese to grate over the top of that pasta, and I do have a few slices of bread that I'm just gonna butter and set on the side. But I think by now this apple brown Betty is ready to go ahead and take that top off. Now we want to end up with a little bit of a crunchiness when it comes to actually eating that apple brown Betty. So we don't want it soggy all the way through. We want to go ahead and give it some time to evaporate off a little bit. I also don't tend to stir these when they're on the stove top. Well, I don't stir them when they're in the oven either, because I find that it creates that nice kind of crunchy layer at the bottom of the pan. If you're using cast iron, you may want to make sure you're using a really well seasoned cast iron pan. All right, now there you have it. A nice bit. Now don't ever drain, wow, that's a lot of stew. Don't ever completely drain them of all of their pasta water. You want a little of that pasta water right in there. That helps keep them from sticking. It also just gives a really, really nice texture to your final sauce. Okay, so let's check on that sauce and see how it's doing. Okay, so that is just nicely warmed. So I can go ahead and set that right over the top of the, oh, look how chunky. Can you guys see how chunky this is? And you know what's amazing about this puttanesca sauce is it is a approved recipe for being water bath canned. So you don't even need to break out your pressure canner for this. Okay, that apple brown Betty is bubbling away nicely, and I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this food right on a plate, ready to go. All right, we'll give a big serving of our antipasto salad. I wanna make sure that I get a little bit of that. There we go. I want some of the goodies sitting right on top so it looks great. And then I'm gonna get some of this puttanesca pasta right here. I just wanna get that pasta right at the bottom. Oh, this looks so good. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. I know I keep saying that, don't I? But it smells so incredibly good. And it is a little hot. Okay, that's a nice, healthy serving. Set that to the side here. Look at this amazing meal. Okay, now we've been in the kitchen for about 20 minutes right now, and look what we've got. Now I've got a little bit of Parmesan cheese. It's just gonna go over the top. And you know what? I'm gonna drop a little of that right over the top of my salad too, because that'll just make it beautiful and delicious. And then I've got a few pieces of just the sourdough French bread. So I think I'll just go ahead and butter a few of those. Now, butter's not as soft as would make this easy. So we'll go ahead and get that right there, and look at that amazing meal, you guys. Did you see how easy that was because I had that all on the shelf? Now, you know that nobody's gonna look at a meal like this and think that you didn't have dinner planned. And that is the wonderful thing about having all of this food prepared in your pantry, is you can have an amazing meal like this in just a few minutes. Okay, let's check on that apple brown Betty now. Oh, it smells good too. It is getting a nice little crust down at the bottom, and it's still nice and soft at the top. Now, if you had any ice cream on hand or whipped cream, that would just take this over the top. But this is gonna be delicious just the way it is. Now we're gonna make sure and get you see how nicely browned that is on the bottom? Not burnt, but just nicely browned. That is the way to do it, guys. Okay, and here you have your apple brown Betty all ready to go. Now we did all of that. And I mean, this is a meal that's ready for at least 4 people. Look at all this amazing food with dessert on top of it in under 25 minutes. And this is like what you would go to a restaurant to buy. I can't even drive to the nearest restaurant in 25 minutes, and yet I can have this out on the table. And you can do it too once your shelves are filled with this amazing food that you can make at home. You know every single ingredient that's in it. You know it's healthy. You don't have to worry about allergens or anything like that in your food because you made it. You know what's in it. You can do this, guys. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye. Hey, if you want to learn how to can healthy food at home, follow the link in the description for my free training on canning food in your own home.